Everybody, welcome to the companion video for the article Dual Angle Lite on epicbowling.com. For those of you that have clicked on this link from the article, welcome, thanks for coming over, and anybody that's found this just out in YouTube land or something, go to www.epicbowling.com. Find the article Dual Angle Lite under the Pro Shop Tips section. This is just a companion video to show you some visual demonstrations to help explain what I was talking about in the article a little bit better. Sometimes just reading the text and the dry terminology, it's kind of hard to get a grasp on what exactly is going on without seeing it. You'll see here I've taken a hammer first blood and I've applied the sample layout that I talked about in the article to it, 50 degrees by 4 inches by 35 degrees. The first thing you'll want to do is you'll take your ProSect here. This is a layout tool, or it's also called a quarter scale, that's used by pro shops and anybody laying a ball out to make it simpler. You'll see that they've got the inches on this side and the degrees on either side of the rib or the spine that's on the back here. And what you'll want to do for an asymmetric bowling ball, you will want to make a line from the pin to the mass bias, completely ignoring the center of gravity on an asymmetrical ball only. This one just happens to be in line with the line from the pin to the mass bias, so that's great. That helps out a lot when you're going to drill it. But the center of gravity, it can be off this way or it can be off this way. It doesn't really matter that much, but all that you're really trying to do is make a line from the pin to the mass bias here. In a symmetrical ball, it would be the pin to the center of gravity, since there is no mass bias present. What you would then do is, there is a little mark here. I don't know if you can see it or not. It doesn't look like it, but there's a little mark on the top that indicates where 0 inches is at. There's also a little mark here. It's a little circle that indicates where 0 degrees is at. Sometimes it's the rib or the spine that's right here. Sometimes it's not. And this one, it's offset a little bit to the right. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to put this on top of the ball with 0 inches on top of the pin and the 0 degrees mark on top of the line from the pin to the mass bias. Once you've done that, then you'll make your mark here at 50 degrees for the layout that I've selected here, the 50 by 4 by 35. You'll make a mark on the 50 degrees, and then all you'll simply do is you'll connect the center of the pin to that little mark that you made and create a line. What you'll do then next is you'll put the 0 inches on top of the pin, and you'll measure however far down. In this case it's 4 inches. You'll put the 0 on the center of the pin, and you will measure down 4 inches and make another mark. The little circle mark here, which will be your positive axis point. Once you're done with that, you'll go on ahead and flip the quarter scale. Once you've made that mark, you will put the 0 inches on top of your positive axis point in the center, and then you will put the 0 degrees mark on top of the line that you made from the pin to the positive axis point. Then you can't see it from here, but on the other side, you will use the other side of the degrees scale. You'll go on ahead and make your mark at 35, and just like you did for the first angle, you'll go on ahead and draw a line from that mark through your positive axis point. This becomes your vertical axis line. And once you're done with that, my positive axis point is 5 5/8 over and a ½ inch up. So whatever it is, you will measure, like it's a ½ inch up for me, so you will measure down on that line. Because where the fingers are actually over here, you can't see them because I haven't rotated the ball yet. But it will be 5 5/8 over and a ½ inch up to your positive axis point. Now, since this layout's already identified your positive axis point for you, or where you want it to be, you will then measure backwards, in a sense, to get to where you actually put the fingers. Going to rotate the ball around, you will see where my fingers actually end up for this layout. The fingers going here and the thumb going down here. This becomes your grip midline, is what you measure over, ½ inch down and 5 5/8 over. That gets you to your center line, and then you will measure an equal distance up to your fingers and down to your thumb from there to get your layout. That's basically how it's done. Again, to reiterate some of the things that I talked about in the article, 50 by 4 by 35, 50, or the initial or drilling angle, just controls how much skid you're going to get. The pin distance determines how much flare you're going to get, and the final angle or the valve angle determines how quickly the ball transitions through all the stages of ball motion. There's a couple other things to think about, but being that this is dual angle light, I'm going to cut it off for here. I will also have a more in-depth article up. There's some other things to consider with the total angle, or the total sum of the angles, and then the ratio of the angles to each other. But we'll get into that a little bit deeper on the next article. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Once again, check out www.epicbowling.com. There's several other great articles and stuff up there. There's a lot of good information. Again, thanks you guys for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye.